Steve, I know it's difficult to put into words considering the result and how much your team gave, but can you just try and explain the atmosphere of that game and the feel of that game and the passion? And I'm talking from both sides as well. Obviously, Japan will come out of this with huge credit, but your team must take some credit as well.
Yeah, look, to be part of that atmosphere was, something that we've probably never experienced before. I mean, the crowd was just amazing, and again, just throughout the whole tournament so far, Japan's put on a fantastic Rugby World Cup. We can't fault that. We came out, we knew that the crowd would be behind their home team, and there would be a lot of passion there. And one thing we spoke about was trying to silence the crowd, just through the way that we worked. And I thought in parts, and especially towards the back end of the first half, we did that. But again, it's just you got to give credit where credit's due. The Japan team was good tonight, and cheered on by an extremely boisterous crowd. I think we had about 500 Samoans in the crowd tonight. There was a little square of blue as I was sitting across the grandstand, and look, again, it was just all our families, I think, and at times we could hear them. So, just a great atmosphere.
Steve, we're only halfway through the tournament so far, and we've already had more red cards than in any competition to date. You didn't get a red card in this game, but obviously TJ got one for a yellow for a pretty innocuous tackle. What's your take on the whole situation?
Well, shoulder to the chest. I mean, I didn't think there was any advantage from the first knock on, and then we knocked the ball on after the first phase, and he gets a shoulder to the chest, and again, like a previous game, mate, we lose a player to an HIA, and nothing happens. Look, are the officials are afraid to referee the game, the way they see it? I think. Look, mate, I think everybody here has seen it and seen the last few games. There's been, I don't know, mate. You could play a game of poker with the amount of cards that are going out at the moment. Look, I don't want to take anything away from Japan and say this and that. Look, lost for words. Yep. I think things need to go both ways sometimes. We're on the end of another call when you're hitting the chest, and I don't know what you can do anymore in this game, to be honest. You tackle them low and you get no arms for going around the legs. You tackle them a little bit higher, and guys are dropping in the tackles these days. So at the moment, we don't know where we stand.
I was just wondering if you could talk through the decision at the end for the scrum rather than the free kick on your own line.
Yeah, look, we back, the scrum, but I think if you have a look at the scrum when we got free kicked with Josh Tyrell, I mean, the Japan number 8 did exactly the same straight away in the next scrum. So again, consistency in refereeing, not only in penalties and things like that, but also just, like you make one call and the opposition scrum does exactly the same the next scrum, and they get away with it. So, look, mate, sometimes I scratch my head.
Hi, Jack. We heard from Steve, obviously a disappointing result, but a huge improvement on the performance against Scotland. What was it like playing out there in the atmosphere with the crowd?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, mate, the atmosphere and stuff, but obviously still disappointed to lose. We came out there to obviously win, and Japan were the best side at the end of the day.
Steve, pre-tournament, obviously you guys talked about wanting to create a legacy, and obviously you have other teams you come up against that want to do the same thing. Yep. Scotland and Japan are the sort of games that if you want to go further in a tournament like this, you obviously have to win. After the first three, what would you say Manu Samoa needs to do in future? What are you guys lacking at the moment, or what can you do to maybe in future be the team that does win those games?
Oh, look, I think today we were there or thereabouts. Scotland, look, one team turned up and played extremely well. What do we need to do in the future? Well, I think there might be, there's got to be some sort of rule change and eligibility and things like that. It gets more difficult, as things go on. And look, I've voiced my opinion around that, a few times. But again, look, we selected a squad of 31, and that we thought we'd go in here and do some good things in this tournament, and in patches we have. We've got an opportunity to play against a team next week that's ranked number 2 in the world, and you've only just seen Japan beat them. But again, there's a whole bunch of things that we need to look at in the future, and the development of the game, back on our own soil is, we need to put some huge effort into that. But again, we just, I suppose we just want the opportunity to be able to have players, if they want to play for Samoa, to be available.
監督とキャプテンにお伺いします。実際対戦してみて、日本の最も優れていた部分、スピードだったりスキルだったり、一番感じた部分はどこですか？
Look, the whole game was well balanced. At times, we did feel like we were playing against more than 15 people. That look, we did well to turn around after getting a good hiding from Scotland, but I'm proud of our boys, and all the best to Japan for the rest of the games.
Steve, you got something to add?
Look, no, nothing surprised us really around the way that Japan played. Again, we, I wouldn't say we didn't get the roll of the green tonight. We didn't get the roll of a few other things, and but look, don't take anything away from a very good Japan side, but I'm just more disappointed for our players in the shed that they probably didn't deserve some of the things that went on out there tonight, and I'm gutted for them, to be honest.
Okay, we'll go here in the front row there, and then come in.
ジャックにお願いします。最後まで本当に素晴らしい試合を見せてもらえたと思います。最後のスクラムになった時にサモアはそこからトライまで持っていけばボーナス勝ち点1を取れたと思うんですが、そのことはスクラムチョイスにした時に意識しましたでしょうか。聞かせてください。
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of the last decision there. I thought our scrum was doing well at the time as well, so we back our team to score from anywhere, and as you saw, our scrum didn't operate well in the end there to provide a good platform for our backs, but yeah.
キャプテンにお伺いします。その後のスクラム、相手ボール、日本ボールのスクラムになったと思うんですけれども、それを組み合いながらどんなことを感じていましたでしょうか。日本の圧力を感じたのか、自分たちの手応えを感じていたのか、そんなあたり。
At the time, we'd been scrumming well and defending well. I didn't feel the pressure at the time, and then obviously it broke down at the end, but yeah.
Steve, you've obviously probably more than you'd ever want to have to talk about a squad of 28, 29 throughout this tournament. You've had players either injured or suspended or what have you. A couple of those players tonight, Henry Taifu and Selala Lam, who weren't in your starting team in the original game. I think Henry was a late call-up to start, were pretty influential. Could you maybe just talk about that wider squad and the players that have had to step up, and people, especially like Selala and Henry today, the influence that they had for the team?
Yeah, look, I think Henry was outstanding today. You know, I mean, his goal kicking, you know, he took over the goal kicking duties, and not only that, his ball carrying, and that he's been a shining light as Salela was tonight. You know, I thought he was outstanding over the ball, and you know, those two can just about turn the game for us. You know, so look, mate, I'm proud of their efforts. You know, again, we had a wider squad, and you got to back your wider squad and the depth in your squad. And look, we didn't get the result against Scotland, and you know, we as a coaching group, you know, made some changes, and you know, I think the couple of changes that we did make, you know, they had great games. I think UJ was good at 10, and then he moved to 15. You know, we lose Timmy and then Timmy to an HIA, and then Ace went off with a calf. He had been nursing for some time, and then you know, UJ to switch to fullback. I thought he did extremely well there, but controlled the game well and had a good kicking game. So you know, yeah, pretty proud of those players.
Time for one more question. Steve, could you just give us an update on Tim? That was obviously he was taken off the HIA and didn't come back after half time?
No, exactly right. You know, yeah, he copped the shoulder to the head, and you know, we lose a player again, as we did in the very first game. Yeah, so yeah, look, I'm probably just as bewildered as most people are. You know, yes, I agree that the TJ's one was late. I got no problem with that, but you know, shoulder to the chest and one to the head, and we lose a player for HIA. You know, I mean, you know, again, mate, I take nothing away from Japan, but I'm extremely gutted for the players in our shed. You know, they deserve a little bit better than that. Well, look, mate, Timmy's, but he seems fine. He seems fine, but you won't know that until he wakes up in the morning, you know. So he'll have a bit of a headache, but Timmy being Timmy, he'll put a smile on his face, mate, and we'll move forward. You know, we've got a game against Ireland, and you know, we'll look to try and get as many players back on the field as we possibly can for this week.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jack. That brings an end to the Samoa post-match press conference. We'll be starting shortly with Japan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.